On an all-new Dr. Phil. They call themselves Pedophile Hunters.
So the predator is coming to meet with a 15-year-old child, so he thinks.
Who are you here to meet?
Are they heroes?
Who'd you buy this teddy bear for?
It's our duty to protect children.
Don't talk to little girls, brother.
Or vigilantes?
You say, I have the support of law enforcement, and they say, no, he does not.
I said they've been receptive.
Does that sound receptive? Today's going to be a changing day in your life. You've never had anybody working harder to bring you to the threshold of change than right now. Well, you talk about parents' worst nightmares, and here's one. Their child falling into the hands of an online pedophile. With the advances in technology, the likelihood of a sexual predator talking to your child on a device in your home without you knowing it has never been greater, which may explain the rise in vigilante groups calling themselves Pedophile Hunters. Take a look.
A Minnesota group is exposing who they call child predators online.
You coming to meet with the child?
Josh Harwell founded Predator Hunters USA to protect kids. He's hunted predators in Minnesota, Iowa, North Dakota, and Wisconsin.
Glass has live-streamed dozens of encounters.
No, you come out here to meet a 14-year-old girl? Why would you take a 15-year-old girl to a hotel?
Jesse Weeks drives semis for a living and goes after child sex offenders in his spare time.
What's your name? My name's Jesse.
Jeff.
You were talking with someone?
Yes.
How old was that someone?
She said 16.
So who'd you buy this teddy bear for?
All I was going to do is go hang out at a park and just swing on the swings.
Hunted and confronted, baby. This is what we do.
He started the Facebook group Hunted and Confronted.
Don't talk to little girls, brother.
Live stream stings are now a thing, whether police like it or not.
Well, it's a controversial type of gotcha vigilantism that many in law enforcement are just not in favor of. Regular citizens lure alleged child predators to remote locations with the intention of confronting them and then posting their identities online for hundreds of thousands of people to see, and they stream it live. Let's start by talking to one of those pedophile hunters, Tony. He's the founder of Team Loyalty Makes You Family. Take a look.
My name's Tony. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I'm a plumber by day and a predator hunter by night. This is Bushwick, New York, Brooklyn. This is where most of my exposures happen. This is where we like to meet the predators. They come right off the train and I meet them right on the corner. So I started the page about a year ago. We've exposed about 27 predators. Predators are being hunted. You got exposed. You 44 years old trying to meet a 14-year-old girl. The best thing to do right now is don't lie to me. All right? And you can talk to me. Listen, don't start crying now. New York City, baby. This is what it's about. Anybody that's looking to meet up with a child is a coward. These guys don't scare me. I come out by myself. I don't feel the need to have anybody with me. I have a very strict guideline on what I do. Decoys, they are the operation. Without decoys, this is impossible.
Hey.
What do we got? Anything?
Yeah, we have a guy that's on the line that we've been talking to for a few days now.
A decoy could be a man or a woman, and they're the ones that go online and play as a child. And my decoys, we don't initiate or speak anything sexually. I don't even allow them to use emojis.
We're on our way, and you let me know you're there.
Okay, I'll call you when I get there.
There's nothing more satisfying than seeing a grown man thinking that he's talking to a child, and his intentions to come down to have sex with someone at 2 in the morning in the middle of Brooklyn, and there is no child. It's me standing there, and I'm gonna put the fear of God in you. I'm a survivor myself. I was a victim. It's got a lot more meaning to me. Now you get to confront the person that law enforcement's a joke when it comes to this. I could call the cops right now and say there's a man on the corner selling heroin, and I'd have 15 cop cars out here. I call the cops and say there's a man to have sex with what he thought was a 13-year-old kid, and nobody will show up. I love doing what I do. It's almost like being a superhero. When I do this thing, it's the most euphoric high you could ever have.
There he goes. Everything's going to the DA in state New York, brother.
It gives me great gratitude in helping someone that may be a victim. I'm not here to be friends with these guys. I'm here to expose you and shame you.
Well, Tony is a plumber. He's the father of 2 children. And Tony, as you were saying, your motivation here is clear. You've been on the bad end of this because you were a victim as a child, right?
Yes.
And I'm very sorry about that, by the way. So you get satisfaction. It's curative for you. It's cathartic for you to do this.
Yeah, it's almost like psychiatry, I guess you'd call it.
So what is your method of pedophile hunting? How do you do this?
It's very simple. You know, we post ads on a lot of different platforms. We'll say, you know, we're 19 or 20 because we can't make a profile being age of 13 or 14. And when somebody messages us, we'll let them know, you know, listen, my age isn't 18 or 19, I'm really 13, 14, or 15. And we'll just sit back and wait and listen and see what they're gonna do.
So you don't put an ad up and say, I'm a 13-year-old waiting to be exploited. You say I'm of age, but then when they respond, you then say...
I let them know immediately.
Immediately. And you don't bait them in terms of any sexual provocativeness or anything like that?
We don't initiate any sex track. I'm so big into, I don't even use emojis, kissy emojis, winky emojis, nothing like that.
Okay, and you say decoys that talk to them, they need to talk to them for at least 2 weeks.
Yes.
To find out if, in fact, they've got bad intentions and they're going to follow through with it. And you say you have no fear, and you're exposing predators in the biggest city in the world on the meanest streets in that city.
Yeah.
But you're a one-man band.
That's it.
You just show up, just you.
That's it, just me.
Okay. And how many, you got 40,000 followers on your website. How many predators have you exposed?
It's about 30 plus, I would say.
Okay. And what happens when you expose them?
We expose them, and then we usually give the information over to New York State Police, and we wait for their response. It really hasn't been a positive response from them. We had more luck when we busted a New York City school teacher, which I think all these guys should be treated the same. It shouldn't matter what status you are.
Are you worried about your safety when you're out there?
No.
Because these are mean. I mean, our producer was out there with you, and their car got burglarized while they were shooting with you.
That's true. Yeah. We actually chased the guy down. His pants fell. He dropped all the stuff, but they got their stuff back.
Yeah, but they chased him down the street.
I believe anybody that's out to meet a child is a coward, and if I'm scared of them, I'm in the wrong field.
I've done things with criminals in the field and things like that, but I always contact law enforcement. They don't go with me, I go with them. They're the professionals. They have the training. They have the infrastructure. They have the warrants. They have all that, but you don't do that. You go on your own.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've tried to reach out to law enforcement. You know, when does law enforcement say, let's sit down? If you don't want me doing what I'm doing, that's fine. But here's somebody in the community that let you know there's a problem. There has to be some sort of sit down. There has to be some sort of relation. And we're not even getting that. And that's why I made a statement. I said, if I called and I said it was a guy selling heroin, he'd be out there like this. But I tell you, there's a guy to meet a child and nobody shows up. There's a problem with it. There's a problem with the system.
Coming up, we're going to meet another so-called pedophile hunter who Tony says, well, he just says he's an embarrassment to the movement. We're going to find out why he says that and meet this person next.
She's talking to a 28-year-old male who thinks that she's 14. Going to be bus number 201. Around 6:15 is when we should be expecting him to be pulling up. All right, decoy, see if we can get him out of the car. I got eyes on him right now. He is here.
And later...
I'm recording for your safety and mine. You don't know who I am. My name is Jess. You want to lie to me? You not go over to me, right in my truck. I just pulled across the traffic. You want to lie about your alcohol? I have 20 1,000+ views in less than 24 hours. I bust predators.
Monday, she blames herself for her baby's death.
Ever since I lost my daughter, I put myself in erratic situations.
But is her high-risk behavior?
You actually destroyed your apartment, right?
I smashed all the dishes, I ripped up the carpet, burned holes. It's uncontrollable.
Driving her husband away.
I have been with another woman.
Well, other woman or other women?
Woman.
If you're not gonna be honest, then this is just a waste of time.
That's Monday. Then on Tuesday.
Her daughter had to spend a month in a mental health facility just to get over a boy.
From breakup to breakdown.
I didn't know how to handle the situation.
Not everybody you lose is a loss.
That's Tuesday.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. The arrest, the arrest. Share it, hunted and confronted, baby. We get sickos off the street.
Jesse Weeks from Hunted and Confronted is.
Hey man, I'm part of a sting operation. I want you to know about law enforcement. I'm not gonna hurt you.
I believe he does this for fame, for recognition.
This guy, that's his third strike. And you know what that means? He's doing 25.
Holding raffles and asking people for money. I do this for free. I don't think money should be involved in this.
It has become a worldwide phenomenon. We're talking about pedophile hunters, regular citizens who take the law into their own hands by luring alleged sex predators to public locations and then confronting them while streaming the video live on social media. But is this the smartest thing to do? I'm here with pedophile hunter Tony, who claims there's a right way and a wrong way to catch a predator, and feels that my next guest, Jesse, is a perfect example of doing it wrong.
My name is Jesse, and I'm the founder of Hunted and Confronted. We are an online group that exposes child predators live. I created Hunted and Confronted in 2018. We've done our 200 exposures, mainly here in Idaho. We've helped facilitate over 15 arrests in 5 different states. We have the best success rate when it comes to arrests and convictions in the country. Right now, who I'm working on is a multitude of males between the ages of 23 and 55 years old. There are 5 decoys, including me. As a decoy, it starts online, or a potential predator responds to the anonymous chat. As it progresses, they then move to cell phone, and from cell phone, we move to meeting. Our head decoy, she is 25, her name is Gina.
We're not cops, we're not armed with anything at all except for a cell phone. It's really disgusting how many men will come and meet a child.
We have another decoy that she's talking to a 28-year-old male who thinks that she's 14, and this individual wants to meet up tonight at 6:30.
It states his name, and he says, hey, and she says, hey. He says, what's up? Says, so I need to tell you something, I'm actually 14. He says, yeah, you don't look 14. He said, oh, I'm just always horny nowadays.
Going to be bus number 201, 6 o'clock, around 6:15 is when we should be expecting him to be pulling up. It's to be hunted and confronted. So right now we're on our way to go expose the child predator, and this is where I go live. Once I hit that button there, when the live stream begins, the whole point of this is to get his face, expose him. This man has sent some sexually explicit pictures and has been very crude and vile. Red flag for me is that he got discharged from the Army for behavioral issues. You know, I'm not too sure how he's going to react. This work that we do excites me. My adrenaline is always pumping before an exposure.
Our target has shown up.
All right, decoy, see if we can get him out of the car. I got eyes on him right now. He is here. All right, guys, here we go. I'm Jesse, what's your name? I'm part of a well-orchestrated civilian team across the country, but we've helped facilitate many arrests with law enforcement, okay? So the more fair you are with me through this process, the more fair I'll be with you, okay? And how old are you?
28.
You're 28 years old. Okay, so why do you think you're sitting here talking to me, Dave?
Because of the text message that I got. It says I look like I'm 20, but I'm actually 14.
She told you at the age, right? 14. Thanks for being honest. You were being very sexual with her, too. I mean, why would you say you want sex while driving from a 14-year-old child?
There's nothing that's okay with that.
Yeah, did you bring condoms?
Yes. My intent today was to have sex.
With what?
With a 14-year-old girl, and I admit to it. I was wrong.
How does this experience make you feel? About the size of an ant?
Smaller than that.
Yeah, smaller than that. Make this a learning experience that you'll never forget. Drive safe. The bus went amazing. It's testy. It is. I mean, it's It gets you going, your hands are shaking.
He was definitely surprised. I think we really scared the crap out of him.
The individual, he was about 5'7", probably weighed about 205 pounds. He could have been any guy that was walking down the streets. They can look like your neighbor, they could be your mailman. You know, that was an exposure that went ideal.
Okay, Jesse, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So how do you two know each other? Do you know each other?
Don't know from a hole in the wall.
But you know of each other?
Yes.
And you're not fans of each other?
I have no problem with him at all. I don't know why he doesn't like me. I don't know why he has an issue with me. I've tried from day one to unite us all as teams. He's just been nothing but a gnat, and I don't pay attention to anything he has to say.
Tell me, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this instead of something else?
Yeah, you know, I mean, obviously...
Because you have a job, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah, obviously, as adults, it's our duty to protect children. I have brothers that are 8 and 10 years younger.
When you connect with an alleged pedophile, what is your goal with that pedophile? What is it you want the outcome to be? Like we saw you said this one went perfectly. So you live streamed that, right?
Right.
Okay, and then what do you do with that? You're also recording it, of course.
Correct.
So what do you do with that footage?
Yeah, you know, obviously we live stream it, and that's evidence right there that can be sent for police to watch, and then also, you know, people around the world, you know, watch it as well as people in the community to get the face out there.
But then you give this to law enforcement, right?
Correct, yeah. We send chat logs over to law enforcement, and whether they choose to investigate or pursue an arrest, that's up to them.
You say that you do have the backing and support of the police with what you're doing because you're taking bad guys off the street or at least making them known.
Right, we've had 15 arrests and then as well as multiple convictions, so they've been receptive.
So what's your problem with...
Dude's all in for the views. I mean, it's clear as day. I like to call it a crap show. It's a crap show. That's what I think it is. I think it's a mockery of victims and survivors.
Well, you just think it's all for show.
I think it's all for show. I mean, I've heard him say, you know, if we don't get 500 views, I'm not going to go live and expose this guy. Or if I don't get 1,000 shares, we're not going to go live and expose this guy. It shouldn't matter how many people are watching. It matters how many people see it at the end. That's what matters.
You say you don't accept donations, but this is a post where you ask followers for money, so you do take donations.
We don't do that.
Yeah, you do. It's up right there. And later...
We've been waiting for about an hour and a half for the predator to arrive. He is now switching the location, so we are going to be heading to a new location. It's not uncommon. These predators will change the location. He wants to be in control. Our decoy just sent us the call recorded between the two of them.
Once you get to you need to send me a picture so we know you're actually there. I will meet you there.
Jesse claims that he live streams video of pedophiles to shame them because your theory is that causes them to back out of this and not be back out there doing it.
Not necessarily shame, you know, just to get his face out for the public to be aware. You know, for example, one of our arrests in Greeley, Colorado, he is still incarcerated, and he was a 2-time sexual offender and also failed to register twice. You know, and a week after he spent 8 years in prison, he came and did the same thing. And
well, why are you live streaming it if it's not to shame them?
To get his face out there, to spread awareness and educate parents and the dangers of the online world.
So you're not shaming them?
It'd be a sense of shaming. I mean, I don't want to view it as shaming. I want to educate and spread awareness and get his face out.
Well, because I'm curious about your motive, because I was watching some of the things that you posted, and these aren't the only people that you shame online. I looked at how you behaved with a stranger after you gave him $1. He was panhandling, I guess, and asked for $1 so he could buy a half gallon. And you interpret that to be a half gallon of gas. He said he was asking to buy a half gallon of booze. And let's take a quick look at it. You posted it, so let's look at it.
Okay.
What's up? Give me your dollar back right now. Give me my dollar back. You want to lie to me? You said you're a short for a gallon. A half gallon of gas is what you just said. I'm recording for your safety and mine. You don't know who I am. My name is Jesse. You want to lie to me? You not go over to me right in my truck. I just pulled across traffic. You want to lie about your alcohol? I have 20,000 plus views in less than 24 hours. I bust predators. I see through you're a predator.
Okay, you said he's a predator.
Yeah, I mean, he was a predator. He preyed on my fiance and I, and the reason that it was live streamed was because we were filming to go for July 4th for vacation, and I wanted to just go live and say, hey, happy 4th. But
you said, do you know who I am? Like,
right.
Who are you?
You know, at that time, I was new to live streaming. I can't say that I'm perfect at all. And
when you said that, what did you, like, who was he supposed to know you are?
He didn't. I just told him my name, and I let him know that he preyed on people that were trying to be kind. He did say he wanted a half gallon of gas. I asked him if he would come over to my side of the window. My fiance pulled $1 out of her purse, and I drove across the street and got my money back. I worked hard for it. And to be lied to.
Well, I just played a few seconds of that, but this went on for 8 minutes of you browbeating this guy. Like, you know who I am? You're out there, buddy. I'm putting you on. You're going out right now. You know who I am? You lie to me? You lie to me? You know who you're lying to? I got 20,000 people.
Yep, that was inappropriate of me to say, definitely. It was out of anger, and again, that was 1.5 years ago, and I've learned a lot since then.
When we were on the field shoot, this is a sequence of pictures that Jesse posted of his field shoot. Now, the field team said you didn't ask permission to post any of these images online, but you were shooting these pictures of us there shooting with you and posting them online. And what was your purpose of doing that?
It was just part of social media. I mean, I like to document, and I never mentioned that we were going to be on the Dr. Phil show. Actually, Tony was the one that went on. What was it?
Retract that.
On Periscope, and you let the world know.
You might want to think about that.
You let the world know. Who was it? I haven't said a word about Dr. Phil.
I went live on Periscope, and I told the people that follow me, not even on Facebook, and I said, this week we have something coming up. Stay tuned. He decided to go live that same day, and said, if it wasn't for me, this wouldn't all be happening, and I'm the one that suggested them, and I should be getting all the credit, and we're going to the Dr. Phil show.
Do you collect money for this in any way?
No, I have asked on maybe 2 occasions for decoy phones, and we've had our PayPal up for maybe 3 weeks most throughout it, but for the last 1.5 years, no, we haven't on this.
Well, here's an audio recording of Jesse telling our producing team that he does not accept donations.
Police watch us, so it's difficult when you have an iPhone 10 already in evidence, and then having other multiple phones in evidence, and us being not nonprofit, but we don't accept donations. We don't have merchandise out yet or anything like that.
Well, you say you don't accept donations, but this is a post from Hunted and Confronted social media page where you ask followers for money to buy new phones, clothing, and a camera to film exposures.
Right. And
so you do take donations.
And it was an accident. I meant to post it on my personal account. Hunted and Confronted was there, and that was one post that we did have. Throughout all the other posts of the last 1.5 years, that was the second time that we have asked for decoy phones. But to have our PayPals up or anything like that, we don't do that. We don't have our PayPal up.
Well, yeah, you do. It's up right there.
Well, it's a post. It's a post though. So what I'm trying to say is that
I'm just trying to find out.
I put in a lot of time and money into it, and if people continuously ask me and they want to help, I've turned down people in their generosity.
So this is just a post. It's not to actually. You can't make a donation to a post.
They can go to the PayPal, and if they want to, and there was a gracious $65.
I asked Tony, are you worried for your safety?
Oh, always. Yeah, that's always. If someone says, hey, they're not scared, or worry about their safety, they would be lying.
You worried about your decoy's safety?
Of course.
Because sometimes you take somebody with you, right?
Right.
And this is, Gina, you work as a decoy, right?
I do.
Hi, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Do you worry about your safety?
I do. But I feel like I would rather risk my life than a child or a parent risk theirs.
All right, next, we're going to meet a man who says death threats to him, his wife, and his unborn child are not enough to stop him hunting alleged pedophiles. So we're going to add to this. We'll be right back.
So the predator we're going to meet tonight is a 34-year-old male coming to meet with a 15-year-old child. So he thinks. We got eyes on him. I am going to go approach him now.
Who are you here to meet?
And later, you said you had their support and that they were right behind you and really with you. That does not sound like that to me at all.
I said they've been receptive. We've had ICAC reach out to us.
Does that sound receptive? Well, I'm here with Jesse and Tony, two self-professed pedophile hunters who say they are very different, but they are participating in a worldwide phenomenon where regular citizens track down alleged child predators and purposely expose them by live streaming the video of their confrontation on social media. But what happens when the pedophile hunter and their family become the hunted? My next guest, Josh, says that just comes with the territory.
I'm Josh with Predator Hunters USA, and we tell predators to kick rocks. It means get the hell out of here. Leave our children alone. Do we have a date of birth on the predator for tonight? So the predator we're going to meet tonight is a 34-year-old male coming to meet with a 15-year-old child. So he thinks. He wants to come at 8 o'clock tonight to have sex with her. We have a team of decoys who set up an online account. He asked the decoy, can we try too? Yes or no? This predator is a serial offender. It pisses me off. I'm ready to expose this guy. I'm calm right now, and I get eyes on him. Is when my adrenaline's gonna start going. We started Predator Hunters USA about a year ago. We've exposed over 70 predators. We do live stream these exposures so neighbors, friends, relatives, co-workers know that this guy is a predator. We'll be meeting at a public gas station around 8 p.m. tonight. I'm calling my wife and my children. Tell them I love them before I go on the exposure. It is dangerous and you never know, you might not come home. I love you guys, I'll talk to you later. I have a wife, an 8-year-old son, a 2-year-old son, and also a 1-week-old son. My wife is really concerned about safety. I've been threatened before and I'll be threatened again, I'm sure. But the predator's threats and my wife's concerns are not gonna stop me. I would rather die than see another kid be molested. 9 minutes away. I'm ready to get him. We've been waiting for about an hour and a half for the predator to arrive. He is now switching the location, so we are going to be heading to a new location. It's not uncommon. These predators will change the location. He wants to be in control. Our decoy just sent us the call recorded between the two of them.
Once you get to you need to send me a picture so we know you're actually there.
I will meet you there.
We're gonna head to the new location and we'll see what happens when we get there. We have been driving for about 3.5 hours now. This is gonna be the meeting spot right here. We got eyes on him. I am going to go approach him now. Hey, you from around here?
It's Josh's security guy.
My name is Josh. I'm with Predator Hunters USA. Let me explain something to you. I'm not law enforcement. You're free to go at any time. So let's be honest here. Who are you here to meet?
A girl.
A girl. And how old is that girl?
Not sure. I'm sorry.
You're sorry you got caught. She said her age, 15. You said, I'm okay with the age. Then you also said to her she could get pregnant if you So you're still currently on probation.
Yeah.
What are your probation guidelines?
I'm not supposed to be around kids.
Unless it's approved.
No, I can be on it if my mom is around.
So your mom knows? Let's give good old mom a call here. Hi.
My name is Josh. I'm with Predator Hunters USA. I am here with your son. He has come here to meet with a 15-year-old child. He told me that he is allowed to be on these apps as long as you know about it, and he told me that you knew about this. No. Here's a card. There's a list of resources. What I would suggest you do, try to get some help to get the hell out of here. I don't want to see your face ever again.
There goes the suspect's vehicle. What happened?
So we walked up to at first he claimed he didn't know her age. I then confronted him with the evidence, and then he admitted, yes, I knew she was 15. He then admitted he came here for sex. He was an older male, maybe 34 years of age, had dark hair. He was chewing some tobacco, glasses. If I see this guy walking down the street, he wouldn't strike me as a predator. He just looks like a normal guy that'd work a regular office job. I told him, kick rocks and get the hell out of here and leave our children alone. Great job, everybody. Thank you.
Josh, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
What's your motive for doing what got you started doing this?
So the reason how I started was I seen another team that was doing it, and I was a victim as a child. Mm-hmm. So seeing that, it hit close to home, and I wanted to do something to make a difference in Minnesota.
I'm very sorry that happened to you, by the way.
Thank you.
And when you go out and do this, does that give you some sense of justice, some sense of balancing the scales?
It does, knowing that it's me there and not another child.
You do realize this is public shaming. They can kill themselves. They can be outed to people that take the vigilantism a step further.
Is there a possibility it could happen? Absolutely.
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil. She blames herself for her baby's death.
Ever since I lost my daughter, I put myself in erratic situations.
It's like, if I get hurt, killed, that's okay.
It's uncontrollable.
That's Monday.
You do realize there's no other way to paint this other than it's public shaming. That's the mechanism by which you try to get these guys to back off and not do this anymore, right?
Correct.
And do you worry about the consequences of public shaming?
I do, and that's why I give them a card with a list of resources, so that way if they need help, they can get help.
It also alerts people to who they are, and they can go over there and take retribution. They can go over there and beat the hell out of them, kill them, whatever. And so with public shaming, they can kill themselves. They can be outed to people in the neighborhood that take the vigilantism a step further and do personal harm to them or their family or their dwelling or whatever. Do you ever worry about that kind of thing?
I tell them in every video to, leave the predator alone, not to contact their family. We'll turn everything over to law enforcement and let law enforcement handle it. Is there a possibility it could happen? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But is there a possibility a child could get hurt that if they were to show up to meet with that predator? Absolutely.
Do you have the cooperation of law enforcement like Jesse does?
We have a huge backing of law enforcement in Minnesota.
Really?
Yes.
So how many convictions have you had?
I believe we have a couple actual convictions, and then we have, a lot that are in the works. We just got on board with Minnesota Human and Trafficking Division, who's going to, start working cases that maybe were turned down at a local level.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out if this works. Jesse, you said you've had 15 convictions, but a whole lot more in the works, right?
15 arrests and three convictions as of now and more to come.
You have a team of 7. You've done 200 stings, and you say 2 convictions, but 15 arrests. And Tony, you say you've got a team of 5, but you go to the streets alone. You've done 27 stings and no convictions yet. And Josh, you say you have a team of 20. You've done 100 stings and no convictions yet.
We do have convictions.
You have convictions.
Correct.
Yeah, we have one on the way, actually, but it's not conviction yet.
Okay. And you have how many convictions, Josh?
I believe there's 2. There was a little discrepancy in one, as one of the predators didn't show up for the actual meeting, so law enforcement went and arrested him.
Because
so
you told us you had no convictions, but some pending.
No, I said that we did have a couple. They wanted the video of it, and I couldn't give them the video of it as the predator didn't show up for the actual meeting.
Okay. You say, I have the support and cooperation of law enforcement. I found that really hard to believe. So I did contact law enforcement in your area. S18 is underway. All we need is you. If you're going to be in the Los Angeles area and want to watch a live taping, visit drphil.com and click tickets. Tickets are free, and I hope to see you soon. You say you have cooperation of law enforcement, that they support what you're doing, and I found that really hard to believe, because I do work with law enforcement, and investigators, detectives that would do this kind of work would be very experienced, very sophisticated detectives. These wouldn't be first, second, third year detectives. These would be people with a lot of seasoning, specialized training. I found it hard to believe. So I did contact law enforcement in your area. Captain Greg McLean from the Internet Crimes Against Children Unit from the Post Falls Police Department in Idaho gave us this statement. Jesse does not have the skills or ability to successfully build a case against alleged predators. We have multi-jurisdictional department of trained professionals who specialize in this very complex area of the law. Jesse is making it more difficult for law enforcement by making these offenders more paranoid. Our task force has a great prosecution rate where Jesse does not. I want to emphasize how dangerous it is for Jesse to be doing this. There are many documented incidences where the suspect is armed or commits suicide after being confronted. It would be better if Jesse left it to us to deal with this issue. You said you had their support and that they were right behind you and really with you. That does not sound like that to me at all.
I said they've been receptive. We've had ICAC reach out to us.
Does that sound receptive?
They're receptive in sense of us on scene, having them come. And, you know, in fact, Gina and I got pulled over just for a police officer to shake his hand or shake our hand and say from a paternal standpoint, he thanks us, you know. So I understand, and I can see where Internet Crimes Against Children is coming from with that. Travis Benson, you know, he was in prison 8 years, and he's back in jail after we confronted him. 28 individuals that we've already confronted on different sites using different pictures. Once we get to the age, which we usually do on the third message, out of those 28 individuals, 27 have blocked and have not communicated with the young girl.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on, because you say we don't solicit or take donations, and then I see PayPal links up on your site where you do ask for and have a mechanism for taking donations. You say, I have the support and cooperation of law enforcement, so I contact law enforcement, and they say, no, he does not. He should leave this alone. He's making our job harder. He should not be doing this. You say, oh yeah, they're right behind me here. They're supporting me.
They've been receptive with us. That's all I can say with arresting individuals, with taking our chat logs and the videos as well. You know.
But you can read, right?
Yeah, of course.
And you can hear.
Right.
What do you say about this?
I can see their concerns. You know, I definitely can.
You see the last line. It would be better if Jesse would leave this to us. Let us deal with this issue.
I'm sure that you know, a lot of different law enforcement agencies would say the same. You know, so I just know that what we do is educate and spread awareness, and we take a passion to it. We've worked our butts off, and I'm darn proud of our team.
So you don't care what law enforcement thinks?
I know that we're not.
They say you should leave it to them.
I do care, but I know that we're not breaking any laws by doing so.
Coming up, we meet with the man who claims to have started the online pedophile hunter phenomenon. He claims he quit hunting after a late-night sting nearly ended his life. He's here with a very stern warning. We'll be right back.
You know, this movement is an egotistically driven movement, and it needs to stop. Jesse, Tony, Josh, these idiots went wild. I stopped hunting these child predators when I almost lost my life.
Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
We're out of time for today, but tune in tomorrow when we're going to meet a man who says he and his wife lost everything thanks to one of these vigilante pedophile hunter groups.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. He says pedophile hunters
We lost everything. I had a good income. Now I deliver newspapers.
ruined his life.
You're here to meet an underage girl.
Well, I was just gonna sing karaoke.
They had a camera. They accused me of wanting to have sex with this person.
You said, I know a karaoke place that serves alcohol. They don't check for ID.
I don't think you should be talking to 15-year-olds.
I'd just like to ask the audience.
No, you don't.
That's tomorrow.
You do not want to miss that. And you also don't want to miss the newest Fill in the Blanks podcast, episode 8, and series finale of Relationship Reality Check, which I've subtitled, How Much Fun Are You to Live With? You have 2 jobs you need to master for a successful relationship. Job 1, you have to teach your partner what your needs are. How do you do that? By identifying and writing down your emotional, physical, spiritual, social, and security needs so that you can communicate them properly. Job 2 is to learn what your partner's needs are. And to figure out how to do that, you need to tune into the podcast. Episodes 1 through 8 are available for free on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. You can also listen to my wife's podcast, I've Got a Secret. And she doesn't have any secrets. She tells everything. I want to thank all of my guests today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.